broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, that's so good. We're
Straight faces.
Dancing.
Oh, yeah.
Dancers. Okay. A lot more fun when we practice it.
Yes.
I felt like it was a lot of fun just now.
Okay, it was fun, I promise. Hi, guys. Welcome back. It's the Flash After Show on AfterBuzz TV. It's Season 2, talking about Escape from Earth 2, the second part of our Earth 2 series. Our Earth 2 series.
We're part of it, yeah.
Yeah, we are. Let's do some intros. I'm Jeffrey Masters. A tweet from Jeff Masters 1.
I am Micheal Andrew. You can find me on Twitter at Micheal_Drew, Micheal EAL.
I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. It's TAURIJAY.
And I'm everywhere at Roxy Striar.
Everywhere. We love hearing from you everywhere as well. On Twitter, on YouTube, on iTunes. You can subscribe on those places. You can comment. We love hearing from you. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Jeffrey.
I'll be here for the next
Good
43
Lord.
minutes. Possibly longer if we run over. This... We start off at Earth 2. I forget that Barry is locked up. Mm-hmm. Like, we just jump into that.
Yeah, me too. I actually forgot that too.
Why didn't we start with that R. Kelly song? Locked up,
Oh.
it won't let me out.
That's actually pretty good. That would have been a good one.
Yeah, that
All
was
right. Well,
good.
on Earth 2, they started with that song.
Oh,
Yeah.
we were cooler over on Earth 2.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
it's still the four of us hosting the panel over
Yeah,
there?
definitely.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah, except I have a giant scar.
You can tell us the story after.
Mysterious, I like it.
I also saw, like, Zoom is running around the city burning the, like, Bring Me Wells on buildings. And they said, we haven't seen Harrison Wells in over 4 months. And it reminded me that, oh, yeah, this has been going on a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then originally I thought the show had, like, sped up time to, like, be at 4 months. But, like, no, that's pretty realistic. Like, there was a long break in the winter. Like, we've been going through this a long time.
Yeah. Can I say that I feel like it was a very small moment when Zoom was running through the city. Like, we've gotten a lot of, like, Zoom the Maniac, but, like, bored Zoom throwing those flyers over the side of that roof was, like, a very interesting character moment for Zoom that I like, it stood out to me. Because usually he's just like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
But him just being like, I want Wells. Here, have some flyers. I thought that was really cute.
Because he has nothing else to do with his time.
Yeah.
It's like, what is a serial killer like that supposed to do? All right, here's like a hobby.
Yeah.
Throwing things.
Wait, I'm sorry. I was taking notes during that. Did we see what was on the flyer?
Yeah, it was Wells's face, and it was just like, "Where's Wells?"
Oh my god, I just...
It was like an invite to a party.
Unless Zoom has, like, an assistant, I just imagine Zoom, like, at FedEx.
I know.
Like, do you have the yellow paper? Cool. I just need, like, 150 of these.
Kinko's, yeah, that's his jam. Totally.
Like, in his mask. I wish we'd seen that scene. Maybe we deleted scenes. I don't know.
Coming back. These are in blue. I said yellow.
Yeah. That is a very interesting scene. Also, we get to see, like, the nerdy Barry Allen of Earth 2.
Yeah.
A lot of him, yeah. Yeah, I mean, when he first came, it was very over the top. But I don't blame him for being over the top because there had to be like a juxtaposition, like a this side and that side version to show the difference. But when you first saw him, it was just very like, oh god, like very like Steve Urkel. It's like, I don't know what to do, like slipping. Sorry, was that a good impression of him?
Yeah.
But it was pretty much, it was a lot of that, and it was kind of cringeworthy a little bit.
Yeah, we got the bow tie, which, like, it's in the comics a lot. But what did you guys think?
I had a really hard time with his performance here. I'll just say it straight up. I love Grant Gustin. I loved him on Glee, where he was kind of a jerk. I've seen him play all different things, and this to me was the most character acty that he's ever been. It didn't seem grounded to me fully. And I think that might have to do with direction. Maybe that's the way that they wanted it to seem. Like it's a little more over the top and like a little more, whoa.
That is our Earth 2 world.
Right. So I don't disagree with the choices that were made. It just didn't work for me. I think he executed what he wanted, but it felt a little off to me.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that it was a little weird. Like I think it fit with how Jay is very like, I'm a stalwart guy, and he's very gee willikers, mister.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was very apt. I think that would be hard for anyone to pull off, because it was his character specifically. They turned up the cheese. Like, I feel like in this episode, they were just like, all right, guys, we've been real serious lately. We had a death last episode, so we got to get the camp, the cheese. We got to put it all in there. Make it a big old camp cheese sandwich.
This one was campy. This whole episode was camptastic.
Performances as well as some like lines here and there, which we'll get to. But I didn't catch who directed this episode. But when a lot of these TV shows are 22, 24 episodes, and we have rotating directors coming in and out, and I could see this being a situation where it's a brand new director that hasn't directed, a brand new for the show, hasn't directed The Flash before, doesn't know Grant Gustin, the actor, that well, and this is the performance that Grant pulls out, and he doesn't want to give him any notes on it because he's like the leading actor. He's the big name. He's the Flash. And so I don't think they could have been what it was.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, I have no idea. That's
I'm trying to
wild
get into the chat right now to check out what's going on there. I don't know if maybe we can pull up the chat on the big screen. But yeah, I do wonder what exactly happened there and what was left on the cutting room floor. Maybe there was different parts of it that we're not seeing. It's hard to find blame with him because he is so talented.
Yeah.
But it didn't work for me.
I will say that Candace Patton's Earth 2 Iris worked great for me. And it was such like a very subtle changes, but it worked.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I thought that last week, Earth 2 Barry worked in the couple of minutes that we saw him. It was just this week where I was like, as he was like, you're going to tell me what the heck is going on. Maybe it was just like, I don't have time for that. So just shh. Which I felt a couple of times tonight's episode, not only with him, but with Jesse Quick, which we'll talk about.
It could have been that last week he was next to Barry, our Earth 1 Barry, so you saw the difference between the two, so it kind of made it easier to make it easier to handle, as opposed to this week when we just started off with Earth 2 Barry, and he was just so over the top with it. And you kind of like, it just hit you harder in the mouth.
Yeah, to their credit, though, I will say, like, this Barry and this Iris are so different from the ones we know, and yet I really see these two characters from Earth 2, like, being in a relationship.
I didn't.
I see it working. Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't. I felt like when Earth 2 Barry is pushing, let me come, and she's like, yeah, all right. Why would you just lost your dad, and he has no abilities, no smarts in this area.
Oh, I meant as working together as in a relationship, a marriage.
That's what I'm saying. In a marriage and true love, I don't think you would let somebody do that. I don't think Iris would have been like, yeah, that's chill, you can just come with me.
Oh, no, they would not have been able to talk one of them out of it at all. I don't think. I think we're just like, you're right, we're gonna do this together because both of us are too stubborn. I just meant like in the scene where he's doing the CSI stuff and tracking him, I saw her being proud of that. And I liked that moment of like, he's maybe not gonna like bust him with a gun and like shoot up like the city, but he's gonna like use his like nerd powers to discover things, and that turns her on.
Right. I mean, yeah, they're equal opposites, which I think is interesting. I would say that, kind of to your point, I think that she is smart enough to see that he was trying to prove himself, so she was more lenient on him trying to tag along, because she knew that he essentially already was kind of hurt from the whole her and Barry 1 thing, and so I think that kind of painted her response to him.
Okay. It just, again, unfortunately didn't work for me.
Which is totally fine. To your point, though, that she just lost her father, I have to say that the moment when she's like, you were there, Barry, and he's like, oh, yeah, I was, when it wasn't, they're figuring out, like, Earth 2 Barry and Earth 1 Barry, and she's like, I lost my father yesterday. It was so casual to me that I just was like, that's not the response. You're in bed for like a couple days. You don't go to work the next day. And I think the only excuse for that is they needed the story to move along faster.
again with that, where I didn't feel a relationship, he says, I know, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. This was the father. This wasn't like a piece of mail that got lost and like you can't find it now. This is their father.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
So again, like you said, we had to move on. We didn't have enough time.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like the chemistry. I actually didn't like their chemistry this episode, but I thought last week's Barry, Earth One, and her had better chemistry.
So did I, completely.
Yeah.
And, like, it seemed like, wow, like they should be together. And this week, they actually seemed more brother sistery this week.
Earth 1 Barry and Earth 2 Iris, total bombshell couple.
Yeah.
It's because they'd be a power couple.
Yeah.
Like, they're both go-getters, whereas like
Well, Earth 1 Iris is 2 though. She's a go-getter.
Yeah.
yeah.
But in different ways.
Right.
Yeah, and I love where they've taken Iris this season. I love seeing her in this thing. Like, she kind of got lost in season 1. You know, she would disappear for a whole episode, or she'd come in to like meet him for coffee at Jitters, and she was like a love interest. And now she's a real 3-dimensional character, and I think it's amazing where they've taken her.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's talk about things that we liked about the episode.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
was,
that I did like.
yeah. No, I just hate starting off like a negative note. But,
Even just being on Earth 2 in general still, I just enjoy the fact that we're spending some time over there.
Yeah.
And I loved the forest scene. The Canadian forest is killing it for me.
Yeah, it did look really good.
And I like the Hunger Games vibe too, when they're like having the fight scene with Caitlyn, or Killer Frost, I guess, in this world.
Yeah.
But it was like very cool, and I liked them recruiting her, and I liked her falling back on her not quite frozen heart.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of was expecting her to be more callous, and I get it that she really loves Ronnie, but I don't know. I think it's because since it's a different Earth, I expect him to be so opposite that she wouldn't do that.
Their
That
love transcends, though.
Yeah, I guess love transcends, but I just thought they wouldn't do that, even though they're the exact opposite. It's not supposed to.
Well,
she's not going to do what the other Caitlyn would do.
Well, I feel like though, at their core, everyone is generally the same. It's just the choices made them slightly different one way or another. So, like, I think that at her core, she was good in the same way that Reverb was also. He wasn't completely bad, you know? So I kind of dug her redemption arc.
This Reverb, I think, was worse than this Killer Frost was. I think she had, because he was so selfish.
Yeah.
And I think that she was so in love, and just that love made her look beyond herself.
Yeah.
So I do think that I completely believed her arc at the end, where they say he killed Ronnie, and she's like, and that sticks with her, and so she does go after him. I wouldn't have believed it for any other reason. I wouldn't have believed it because she wanted to help this new team or anything. This was her love, and so it was justified for me. So I thought that they did a really good job with that.
Yeah. I will say, too, that I thought that Reverb was my favorite, if not the best, but that's, I guess, arbitrary. So, my favorite of the Earth 2 counterparts. I just thought that Cisco, Carlos nailed that, and I was sad not to see him in this episode.
Yeah. It would have been nice if he made it to episode 2.
Yeah.
To the second episode, to this episode, that would have been nice if we got more of him.
Yeah, I want to discuss Jesse quick, but first I will say that our show tonight is sponsored by Casper Mattresses. They're named one of the Time's best inventions of 2015, and everyone's looking for a great sleep, and that starts with the mattress. If you don't believe us, you can get one for 100 days, risk-free. They ship it free. They ship it back free if you change your mind. So if you want to check that out, that's casper.com/AfterBuzzTV. Nope, I just lied. It's AfterBuzz only, no TV.
I'm like, what is it, Princess and the Pea when it comes to mattresses. And Casper mattresses are unbelievable. I've had the honor of laying on them before, and they're really, really great. So I definitely recommend these one personally.
Awesome. Yeah, so thank you ahead of time for checking that out. Okay, Jesse quick, Roxy. I know you got some opinions. What do you think?
She first starts talking smack about her dad. She then refuses to try to help Barry get out. Then she's like, oh, fine. I guess because he complimented me and said I was smart, I'll do it. And then finally, when everything's said and done, and her dad's like, all right, come on, honey, we have to go. She's like, oh, Dad, what about my friends and my family?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I think this was supposed to bother me, and it did, so job well done.
Why would they have wanted that to bother you?
Because I think that she has a lot of growth. I think we're gonna be she's sticking around, and she's got a lot of growing up to do. I have my theory on which direction they're gonna take her, so I'll get to that in predictions. But right now, she's just a little kid who is tired of having this life. Just ugh, I'm millennial, ugh.
And I think that a lot of this was like the writing. It wasn't just like, let's make her a selfish millennial. It was just kind of like we said before, like campy lines. Mm-hmm. And usually they'll get away with one or two. Cisco called Caitlyn Elsa in the woods. And at first I was like, who are we talking about? Weird references. Like I'll allow it here and there, but it was just a lot of lines. Like had that effect of like, really? I didn't mind it so much. I don't want to keep disagreeing with you, but no, I will. I didn't mind it as much with her, to be honest, as other characters.
11 Mick B-Dogs in the chat says, Jesse's been in that cell for 4 months. Zoom broke her spirit. It's a good point. I think that that's true. She probably is typically in a little better of a mood than when you've been sitting there for that long.
And this is the most we've seen of her so far. We've only seen like the flashbacks. What do you think?
If she's been in the cell for 11 months and whatnot, the first thing she says when she comes out is, what about my friends? I mean, I would think that the first thing she would say is, we got to get out of here and make sure I never go back in. Yeah. You know, that's what kind of stuck out to me. She was like, oh, but when she was talking about her life, I'm like, lady, it's a wrap. It's time to work and trying to keep on keeping yourself out of that cell. It was just, that kind of bothered me.
I'm loving how split the chat is right now, so I'm sure that's pretty, that's probably what the whole audience is like. Half the people are like, cut her some slack. She's been in there a while. She's a teenager, and, you know, this is tough. And half the people are like, pretty much saying what I said, whiny and annoying.
Do we know her age? Is she a teenager or is she Barry's age?
I want to say that she's in her like early 20s.
I thought she was a teen.
Interesting. Did she mention it, or Barry mentioned that Wells said that she is smarter than he is? Mm-hmm. Is that something he did say?
I don't know if we saw it on air.
Yeah.
I just think that the way maybe it was her acting or the writing, I don't know, when they're trying to figure out what it was, it didn't seem to me like the leader who was like brilliant. It just seemed to be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like let's go for it. It didn't seem like that committed.
Yeah, it would have worked for me if she was actually the one who, I mean, not to get too ahead, but who gave Barry his, you know, that little pep talk that he needed later on in the episode.
Yeah.
You know, to do the phasing. If it would have came from her, and say she would have used some science mumbo jumbo, I think that would have helped her case.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean,
supposed to being a whiny brat. Tauri.
I just felt like, kind of like Roxy said, like, we're going to see her grow a lot. I think in this episode, she was very much just used to kind of further the plot. She was essentially there for Barry to go, well, how can we do this? And she goes, well, we can't. And so it gives him a chance to be heroic, and it gives him a chance to...
So he's not talking to himself.
Right.
Right. 100%.
You know?
What are you gasping about, Roxy?
Well, somebody in the chat said what my prediction is, so now I don't have to save it for predictions. I can just talk about it now, so I'm really excited. At Almira Bat says, who thinks Jesse is meant to be another Cisco love interest? Ding, ding, ding. That's totally where I think we're going with this, especially as he was knight in shining armoring her out of this breach and bringing her in, and they're there, and I'm like, oh my god, maybe this is finally somebody that isn't too like, I'm too hot for you, I'm just going to make out with you and leave you. Or actually, I have another guy that I'm supposed to be with and supposed to have been with for 4,000 years. So maybe this is Cisco's new gal.
Wow.
And she's a smarty.
I'm for that.
Yeah, and he can make her a little less bratty.
Cisco needs someone.
Didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, me neither.
Didn't I say it out loud too?
Yeah.
That's
you guys just don't listen to me.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
That's a great prediction. So we're in the cell, and we are finally spelling out things with the man in the iron mask. And he says, Jay.
Yes.
But he wasn't, if you're asking me, which you guys are,
hey, what do you think about that, Jeff?
trying to be that much more helpful beyond these 3 letters. Like, he wasn't, like, I'm sure we're thinking, is he Jay? Is, like, Zoom Jay? Is somebody else Jay? What about Jay? And he wasn't, I was like, I wanted charades from him. I want him pointing at himself, pointing somewhere else, like, doing a little dance, making a little love, getting down tonight. What do you guys think?
Wow. All right.
He definitely could have been more helpful. he is somebody who I bet is extremely frustrated because he's probably been trying to communicate with Jesse for the 4-month period, who's been sitting there being like, "Ugh, shut up." Ugh.
Way to bring it around, Roxy. Good job.
So annoying. So like he's probably sitting there like, all right, I'm just gonna keep the tap in, keep the tap. He probably started with charades and now is like,
That's true. He's probably been tapping the whole time, just hoping she'd catch on.
Okay, sure, but Barry is there. They're getting ahead. They've spelt the word, and then he just stood there.
Yeah.
Well, I think that like as Barry was guessing, because Barry was just like, "Are you Jay? Is that? What about Jay? Jay's in Earth 1." Like I think that as Barry wasn't getting it, it just made him more and more frustrated and sad because it's just another person who is going to.
Okay, but frustrated or not, you still try.
Yeah, he didn't point to himself or in the direction once. I was miming to myself. It's point. Is it you? Is it you?
When
point.
he says Jay, here are the options right now. Either he's Jay. We did pause on him. It's definitely a male. We think white, but it was hard to tell because
it was white. They showed a back view at some points from the back of his head, and honestly, it looked like light brown hair that Jay has.
Some people in here were talking about maybe him being blonde, so like brown or blonde. That's what it looked like. So is he Jay? Is Zoom Jay?
Right.
Is Jay the Jay that we know dangerous? Is Jay essential to something? There's all different things Jay could mean. So, like you, Jeff, I wanted Barry to be smarter and say, "What about Jay? Knock once if Jay is da-da-da.
Yeah.
Knock twice if you are Earth 3 Jay. Knock 4 times, whatever." But we couldn't get to that point. Frustration took over.
Does anybody have a good guess? Because I do not, to be honest.
There's so many Jays going around. I don't know what's happening. There's the Hunter Zolomon. There's that Jay. But first I thought Jay was Zoom. I was like, oh, Jay Zoom. Zoom is Jay. And that's the real Jay. But then when they're fixing the breach.
First you thought Zoom was which Jay?
I thought the Jay, the person in the who Barry was talking to was Jay.
Lair.
And the lair was Jay. And Zoom was
which Jay though? Earth 1?
Oh, Earth 2.
Okay.
I thought Earth 2 Jay. See, it sounds confusing now. Earth 2, I thought Earth 2 Jay was Zoom.
Okay. Because he went to go take a nap?
Yeah. Yes, pretty much.
When he was on Earth 1?
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned Earth 3, Jay, and I think that would be just too, like, easy and there would be no payoff for the audience.
Right.
If they were like, this is from a different Earth that we mentioned once, but we've never been to.
Unless Earth 3 is Supergirl Earth and we're going there and this all has something to do with many Earths.
I think that that was such a big deal to do the crossover on a different network, and I think that there's no way that will tie into like major plot points of our show.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a major plot point either.
And I think it's so hard to do, being that they shoot in Los Angeles, that there's like no way they can even bank on it happening like again.
Right. I mean, if I had to take a guess, I would say that I think, and I was kind of talking to Michael about this earlier, but like I think that the guy that we know as Jay isn't Jay. Like I think the guy in the mask is Jay Garrick, and the Zoom and the guy that we know as Jay are Hunter Zolomon. I still kind of stick with my split theory in that like Jay quotation marks and Zoom were at one point one and the same, and they are split apart. But the guy who is actually Jay Garrick is in the cage.
Yeah. Okay.
I've never even seen this chat go as crazy as it's going right now. Everybody has different theories. Shadow Weecho02 says Iron Mask is Earth 2 Jay. Zoom is Zoom. Jay, we know, is a fake who never had super speed, and Hunter Zolomon is irrelevant. Then other people think that he's some version of Henry Allen, which we did the little screen thing earlier on. Oh my gosh, a lot of people think that there's some sort of correlation between Jay and Zoom, that they're part of each other, one of them is the other one. I was thinking, even going over Supergirl, we know that Martian Manhunter exists in somewhere in this universe. what we saw as Hunter Zolomon could have been a shapeshifter. We could have been like putting an image there or something that wasn't actually there. Maybe Earth 1J is actually Zoom. Maybe they're working together.
Yeah.
You know what? Thinking back on it, Jay Garrick that we know, who's been on Earth 1 currently, he hasn't done that much to be helpful at all. You know?
Definitely
he's
not.
there.
Yeah.
We've even called him weak, you know?
Yeah. And he's a speed addict, just like Zoom.
Yeah.
What if Zoom, this is coming from Carlos, what if Zoom is a future version of Jay that has deteriorated because of the use of Velocity 9 and he was trying to warn them? So now we're not talking about a different Earth, we're talking about...
Just time travel.
Yeah.
So the guy in the mask is current Jay, is somebody.
No, the guy in the mask is future Jay.
The guy in the mask is somebody naming Jay as Zoom.
No, the guy in the mask is future Jay warning them Jay is in trouble because of what you guys are doing.
Right. Which kind of, if that were the case, they hinted at it in the fact that Wells, or Harry, had his own time chamber, which means there is also time travel on his Earth.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see also.
Yes, that was amazing.
I love that part.
Oh, fascinating. I have no idea.
Me neither.
I think we should move on.
It's just so. But I'm glad. Like I was glad I was so confused though. Like when it happened, I was glad that I had no idea
There
what was
were no
going
answers.
on. Yeah, I was really happy with that.
I agree with you, Jeff, that we should move on, but I think that this is the part that people are most excited about the whole episode. So definitely, guys, write your comments below if you're on YouTube or iTunes. I'm going to make sure I check out everything you guys say, and I'm sure you guys are too throughout the week because I want to know everybody's theories. It's the coolest thing.
Yeah, let us know what they say. That also, do you guys have anything else that's productive to add to this? That sounds so horrible.
No, it was an important distinction because I could keep talking about it, but productive.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done.
I'll update you guys on what
I have some-
productivity the chat has.
While I'm demeaning, guys, I have something slightly not productive, also known as unproductive. The actual mask that they used, it looks so like complicated and man-made in the sense that it took a lot of time to put into it to create it, and I don't know why, because the only function is to hide this person's face. Because there's gonna be a reveal.
And to take away their voice, potentially?
Yeah.
Okay. It just seems like I'm just wondering like why all the work to go into it when like literally a black bag would have like been like sufficient.
Because we have it in the budget.
Okay.
It's cooler.
And you really can't hear his. I think it's the voice thing. You really can't hear his voice. It's really muffling. You really can't hear anything. So I think you're just gonna have to go with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, but I'm not happy about it. When the team was hiking through the forest and there's Caitlin and all these people, these are like very powerful super people. Like Caitlin like created like the ice mountain, etc. I think it's so funny that and they've all these crazy powers and yet they still have to like walk to get places.
Yeah.
I know that like they can't just like apparate, you know.
I wanted her to make a slip and slide kind of thing and everybody just slip on down it.
It looked weird. I saw you, Jeff. I saw you look at the screen when they had all the when she put up the ice mountain. It didn't look climbable.
No,
right?
It looked like a giant rock.
Yeah, it looked like a giant rock. I thought there'd be like at least like crevices,
steps,
like or like steps or something. Very Iceman-ish. Very like I don't know, something to climb on. Legitimately
on this topic, but a little different. Yes, they do all have these crazy superpowers, but something that I love watching is that Cisco still hasn't figured out how to master his yet. Because it's been such a short amount of time, and so when Caitlin says to him, or when Killer Frost says to him, wow, you really haven't figured this out yet, have you? Couldn't get it? And he's like,
Love that.
shush.
Yeah.
I love that. I love watching the learning curve here.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
And it's not the Cisco we see who's like the know-it-all in the best way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got he took a Reverb's
goggles.
goggles. So I'm excited for that to see what happens with that.
Yeah, totally. I when the moment they got to rescue Jesse and Barry, it took so long
Yes.
to like say their hellos and their hugs and to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
I just feel like there is a clock. There's a clock to when Zoom will come back, as well as a clock to when you need to go back to Earth 1.
The sense of urgency was non-existent.
That's the part that bothered me the most of this whole episode. Like the sense of urgency was so non-existent in that moment.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Well, I think that, and it kind of goes back to like our original issue, is that like there were two distinct tones in this episode that like were very much in clash with one another. So like when that scene started, my heart was racing. I was like, he's gonna come back. They're gonna get caught. Everyone's gonna die. It's gonna be so terrible.
Me too.
5 minutes later, Jesse's still in the thing. They're talking to Killer Frost. Like it just. By the time that we even got close to them leaving, like I had already settled in, and I was like, "We're gonna be here for the rest of our lives."
And by the time Zoom shows up, I was like, "Oh, hey, I forgot Zoom was even coming." And when it was going in, when the scene starts off, and you have that sense of urgency, by the time they end up everyone's doing their speeches and everyone's hugging one another.
Yes.
You're so thinking about Zoom, like you're not even really taking in the speech. Right. You're just like, shut up, keep going, shut up.
I do agree, but to play devil's advocate for 1 second,
no, Roxy.
The person that I was the most confused why she was just chilling there was Killer Frost. It's like he's gonna come and murder you. So the fact that she was in cahoots with him made me a little more okay that they had just been Jay chilling for a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
So at least then I was like, all right, I guess the other people, if she wasn't being urgent, they probably thought that meant they didn't need to be, because if somebody was coming, she would have run, that kind of thing.
You know what I will say though, while I did need them to like hurry up and get to things, the moment that was missing for me was the Iris moment of seeing a second Barry. Because up to this point, she's only heard about these, like, quote-unquote doppelgangers. Mm-hmm. And so I needed her to be like, oh my god, like, he looks just like you. Or something. They were just taking so much time that, like, I wanted that to, like, exist, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then we had, like, the classic Barry moment of, leave me here, it's fine, I'll fend for myself. It just, I hate to say it, it was the most anticlimactic ending to a show that we've ever had.
I wanted them to leave him there. I really, like, not, like, for the sake of, like...
That was the meanest thing Tauri's ever said.
No.
I've heard worse.
He's making this, like, noble sacrifice, and he understands, like, that's the thing, is he understood the urgency of the whole situation. And he's like, if Zoom comes back, all of you guys are dead. Don't waste your life on me. I can figure this out. I have time. I have powers. I'm the only one who has the ability to defend himself for the most part.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. He did have the urgency.
He was just a little grumpy. He probably needed to take a nap on a Casper mattress, like we talked about earlier in tonight's episode when we told you guys all about Casper.
Yeah.
So he needed to just chill out for a second and just, get his Z's.
Just relax.
Get some rest.
And do you remember where that was? Casper.com/AfterBuzz.
Yeah, baby. Love it.
We talked about it already now.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. It just felt like the air existed. Okay, listen, I don't like to bash a show. We're massive fans of the show. This is my least favorite one that we've seen.
Episode?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I had such high hopes for it. We've been waiting to go to Earth 2 all season. We're there. It's like the part 2 of the Earth 2 episodes as well.
I totally see what you're saying. It had major highs and lows for me. The moment we started, when we had the voice, just Zoom's voiceover, he's so scary to me. He's so terrifying. Yeah. When he beats up Barry, all of these things, that threat level is huge, which meant the stakes were high for me. Then those moments where there were the lulls, I agreed with you a little more, Jeff, but the highs were some of the highest highs, and the lows were just...
I guess the ending scene that was like anticlimactic for me was made even more so because like the music was swelling, and I was like, look, you need to be feeling deep thoughts right now, feeling deep feelings, and thinking deep thoughts, and I didn't. And the fact that they're telling me this is the moment and it's not happening, we had that speech by Earth 2 Barry to our Earth 1 Barry being like, this is the impossible, and it did not work for me.
Yeah, it wasn't needed.
Yeah, we're running a lot of time, but we didn't discuss that the man in the Iron Mask is left on Earth 2.
Oh. Yes.
because what were they supposed to do?
Yeah.
Barry's like, bro, I'll be back for you, man. Guys,
But he
like,
can't.
I believed him though.
I did too, and I still believe him.
But it's like, he can't go back. The breach is closed.
Yeah.
There's no way this is a permanent closure.
Yeah.
0 chance. Also, this pissed me off.
Yes.
All right, so
Release.
why are we all of a sudden just so cool leaving Zoom on a different Earth? He's still loose on an Earth.
I know, he's probably going to terrorize the whole place.
Barry's whole thing is like no man gets left behind, no person gets hurt. They're celebrating right now. I get that mini victory, but now not only did he have Jay, which is when you guys realized it was a bad thing, but he was still left on a whole freaking Earth with a whole society.
I 100% agree.
I agree with you on
That's
that.
true. Though I will say,
Well, I hear you, but
actually, no.
I love it.
I think that since his whole goals are so flash focused, I mean, yes, he's gonna like set some buildings on fire, but like overall, he has no other goals than stealing speed. So like I would imagine that he's either running out of speed overall. So like if you let him sit around for a year, then eventually he'll just go away. Or
And be a murdering villain.
Yeah.
Because he's got nothing else to do with his time. Even if he's not fast, he's still gonna be like stab, stab, dart, dart, punch, punch.
Yeah, I agree though. Like they've set the precedence that Barry Allen is a superhero and protector of all, and the fact that like he like saved his Earth does not like fit into his character.
I think that what I'm hoping is this is a temporary solution. Barry is always planning on going back to fix the problem, and this right now just had to be.
Yeah. So
Right.
the Harrison Wells and Jesse escaped to Earth 1. Do we think that they're gonna stay on the show in our Earth, or are they eventually gonna go back?
Yeah, they're gonna stay on because
Yeah.
like she's away from her friends and her family.
I just always thought that this would be the last season of Earth of Harrison Wells, and so
I hope not.
No, you keep saying that, but I've
well,
never been on that team.
I only thought it like story wise, but now this makes so much sense that he'd be there. But also, if he is, he'll have to hide out and start labs and never leave because he's dead.
right.
They think
That's
he's
true.
dead.
Twin brother.
Bobby Wells.
I'm Jerison.
What did we think about the final scene with the hand through the chest?
Where they grab Jay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell honestly if it was like killing him through a heart or like through like the arm, like just grabbing him.
No, he wasn't killing him. He was
don't think he
bringing him
was.
back to Earth
Well,
too.
I mean, he vibrated it through his chest and then yanked him in.
I definitely don't think he's dead.
We all saw that coming a mile away, right? It was very like it's fitting that the trailer for next week's episode is very Jaws centric because it was very Jawsy when you completely saw the attack coming.
Yeah.
You completely saw it coming.
Right.
Like the moment he walked towards there and he slowly turned, like, oh, here we go.
Oh,
When Zoom jumped in and
that's a big connection you just made.
Oh no, I'm thinking that because remember the old Sam Jackson movie?
You're talking about Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was very Deep Blue Sea.
It was very Deep Blue Sea,
where
right?
He's making a big speech and
Then a
talking about
shark
how they're going to
comes.
get out. And
Oh my god, that's what a reference. You're exactly
Yes.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone probably in the audience saw like that coming because he's standing next to the breach and slowly closing
turning.
down. You're like, okay, I get it, buddy.
Like, well, we succeeded, guys, huh?
One of the only people who's done this before going through the breach is Jay, you Momo.
I know. What are you doing?
Like, are you kidding me, dude?
Like, get away from it.
As people in the chat point out, we had like Velocity 9 popping in the screen. That like historically has horrible side effects, even though this one at the moment is like counteracting really well with his sickness, whatever he has. Do we think that Velocity 9 is going to be a way for Jesse Quick and or Wally to get power since they are speedsters in the comics?
Well, we don't know what Jesse's powers consist of right now. We know Wally doesn't have any, but Jesse theoretically could already, or maybe coming through this breach, kickstarted something.
Yeah, that's true.
I think in the comic book, I might be wrong, but there's a serum called Velocity X or Velocity 10, and I think that's the one that Wally uses. I could be wrong. There's something with
Well,
that.
we're one away. We had
I know, that's what I'm
6
saying.
already.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying she might
Like Wally
just
starts shooting up.
well, she might go one. She might make another serum one notch higher, and that's the one that Jesse and Wally will use.
Yeah, but how would they get a hold of it?
No idea. So while he's already addicted to speed, something's gonna happen. He's gonna see a few speedsters going at it, and he's like, "Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Who needs a car? These guys got feet." You know, you might be that.
I agree
Or
with that.
Zoom could go around trying to make speedsters to steal their speed.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right.
Oh, wait, say that again.
He'll go around making speedsters so he can steal their speed. So
Okay.
he's like, you're connected to the speed force.
Yeah, but Zoom is on the same Earth right now.
Huh?
Are you sucking speed?
Yeah. That's you do it through a straw.
I'll keep that in mind for my Saturday nights.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah. Okay.
I will say that the Geomancer, pretty happy we didn't see that much of him.
I couldn't have cared less.
Yeah.
You know what I did care about? The way he was acting in the camp that he said the words with. And I was like, oh my god, I get it. You're an evil character.
Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah.
They were trying to take him down. What I did love was watching Iris and Caitlyn team up. Because girl power, girl power. And then Joe helping out. But I never was worried they weren't going to be able to keep the breach open.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about this villain of the week actually messing things up. So the stakes were pretty low there for me.
Yeah, we did get to see Iris as a new boss, which he's going to come back. He's a couple episodes.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. Should we jump to predictions? There's anything else we want to add about this lackluster episode?
Oh, jeez.
No.
We had some shining moments.
There's some
Keep it at
shine.
100. Keep it at 100.
One of them was...
Oh,
Oh, I thought you guys would all just catch along.
Oh, our dance?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I can't remember about the show.
Okay.
You said a prediction already, Roxy. Do you have any other burning inside of you?
Other than Cisco and Jesse Quick being
That's a
together,
great prediction.
I predict that we're going to see King Shark next week.
Oh my god, okay, great. Why do you think that?
I just have this sense about me. Was that Lila?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So we get Diggle and Lila next week. This is going to be awesome.
It went so quickly. I was like, oh my gosh. So I predict that I'll be really happy with next week's episode. I love when we cross over characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling.
I think that aside from next episode, I think that the way that we're going to reintroduce breaches is when Cisco is trying to learn his powers, he creates a breach.
Oh, that's great
wow.
prediction.
Wow, that's a good one. I got nothing. I'm starting to doubt Harry Allen might be Zoom. That's it.
Okay.
Henry?
Is it Henry?
Henry.
Sorry. Henry Allen.
Oh.
I have no specific
Barry.
predictions, but I'm very excited to continue to see Cisco exploring his powers.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I think he just is the best.
See there.
Yeah, Roxy, I'm going to start with you. Tell everybody where they can find you online until next time.
You guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
You can find me at Tauri J. It's TauriJay.
You can find me on Twitter at Micheal_Drew, Michael EAL.
And I tweet from Jeff Masters 1. Guys, we'll see you next week. Good night.
7 o'clock in the rays from the sun wakes me. Stretching and yawning in a bed that don't belong to me. And a voice yells, "Good morning, darling."
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
Necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Searching for my car keys, trying to get 'em about the